Hello everyone, and welcome to Chill English Channel. I'm Sophia, and I'm very happy you decided to spend some time with us today.
And I'm Jake. Wherever you are right now, maybe at home, on your way to work, or taking a quiet walk, we hope you can relax and enjoy this conversation.
Today, we are talking about something that almost everyone struggles with at some point in life. We are talking about taking action.
More specifically, we're talking about that moment when you know what you want to do, you think about doing it, you talk about doing it, but somehow you still don't start.
Maybe you keep saying, "I'll start tomorrow."
Or, I'll do it when I have more time.
Or maybe your favorite sentence is, "I'm going to start next Monday."
Ah, yes, Monday, the most hardworking day in our imagination.
Exactly. We give Monday so many responsibilities. New diet on Monday, English practice on Monday, exercise on Monday, new life on Monday.
Poor Monday, it has a lot of pressure.
But this topic is not really about Monday. It is about the distance between wanting something and actually doing something.
And we'll explore it in clear, natural English for B1 to B2 learners, so you can practice your listening while thinking about your own habits and choices.
You don't need to understand every single word. Try to follow the conversation, notice useful expressions, and let the English come to you naturally.
And while you listen, we want you to think about one simple question.
What is something you have been saying you will do, but you still haven't started?
Maybe you have been saying, I want to improve my English.
Maybe you want to exercise more, read more books, start a business, look for a new job, or learn a new skill.
Maybe there's a message you need to send, a decision you need to make, or a small project that has been waiting for you for weeks.
You know it is there.
You think about it sometimes.
You might even feel a little guilty when you remember it.
And then you tell yourself, okay, tomorrow I'm definitely going to do it.
But tomorrow comes, life gets busy, and suddenly you are making the same promise again.
I know that situation very well.
Really? You, Jake? I thought you woke up every morning at 5, exercised for 2 hours, read 3 books, and finished all your work before breakfast.
Of course. And then I fly around the city wearing a superhero costume.
I knew it.
No, seriously, I procrastinate too.
That is a useful word for today, procrastinate.
To procrastinate means to delay doing something, especially something you know you should do.
For example, you need to study for an exam, but instead you clean your room, watch videos, check your phone, make coffee, and suddenly become very interested in organizing your socks.
That example feels strangely personal.
Have you actually organized your socks to avoid working?
Not exactly, but last month I needed to prepare something important for work. I sat at my desk and told myself, okay, Jake, focus.
That sounds like a strong beginning.
It was, for about 30 seconds.
What happened?
I noticed that my desk was a little messy, so I thought, I can't work like this. First, I need to clean.
That sounds reasonable.
Yes, but then I found an old notebook. I started reading it. Then I found an old shopping list inside the notebook.
Please don't tell me you started studying the shopping list.
I did. I was looking at it and thinking, interesting. Why did I need 3 lemons that day?
Jake, that is professional procrastination.
Exactly. And after almost an hour, my desk looked beautiful. I knew a lot about my shopping habits from 2 years ago, and I had done absolutely none of the important work.
I think many people can recognize themselves in that story.
The interesting thing is that I wasn't doing nothing. I was busy.
And that is an important difference. Sometimes procrastination doesn't look like laziness.
You can be very active and still avoid the one thing that really matters.
You answer messages, you organize files, you watch educational videos, you make plans.
You might even spend an hour creating the perfect schedule for the work you are not doing.
That happens because planning can feel safer than action. When we plan, everything is still possible. We can imagine ourselves succeeding without facing any difficulty yet.
But the moment we begin, things become real.
And real action can be uncomfortable.
You might make a mistake.
You might discover that the task is harder than you expected.
You might not be very good at it in the beginning.
And sometimes that is exactly why we keep waiting.
We tell ourselves that we need more motivation first.
Yes, people often say, when I feel motivated, I'll start.
But there's a problem with that idea. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change all the time.
One morning, you wake up feeling powerful. You think, today I'm changing my life.
And the next morning, your bed feels like the most important relationship you have ever had.
Exactly. Suddenly, your big life plan can wait because the blanket is warm.
So if we only act when we feel motivated, we may spend a lot of our lives waiting.
I used to believe that motivation had to come first. I thought the order was motivation, action, and then progress.
But now?
Now, I think action can come first.
You do something small, you see a little progress, and that progress creates motivation.
That changes the whole idea.
Yes, instead of waiting until you feel completely ready, you can begin before you feel completely ready.
And I think the words completely ready are important, because sometimes we're waiting for a feeling that may never arrive.
Exactly. Think about speaking English. A learner might say, "I'll speak when my English is better."
But how does your English become better if you never speak?
That is the problem. You're waiting for confidence before taking the action that creates confidence.
So maybe confidence is not always something you need before you start.
Sometimes confidence is something you build because you started.
I really like that idea.
Me too. And there's another sentence people often say, "I don't know where to begin."
That can feel very real, especially when a goal is big.
Imagine someone wants to get healthier. They start thinking about exercise, food, sleep, routines, calories, gyms, equipment, schedules.
And 5 minutes later, getting healthier feels like a full-time job.
Exactly. The goal becomes so large in your mind that starting feels difficult.
So instead of asking, how can I completely change my life, maybe we need a smaller question.
Something like, what is the smallest useful action I can take right now?
Not next month.
Not when life becomes easier.
Not when you become a different person.
Right now, with the time, energy, and ability you already have.
I think that question changes everything, because when you ask for the smallest useful action, the goal suddenly feels less frightening.
Yes, your brain stops looking at the whole mountain and starts looking at the next step.
Let's use learning English as an example. Imagine your goal is to speak English confidently.
That is a big goal. You cannot wake up tomorrow and simply decide, okay, now I'm fluent.
Unfortunately, there is no magic button.
I checked. I looked everywhere.
So instead of focusing on fluency, you could ask, what can I do for 10 minutes today?
Maybe you listen to a short conversation and repeat some sentences.
Maybe you learn 5 useful expressions and say them out loud.
Or you record yourself speaking for 2 minutes about your day.
These actions seem small, but small does not mean unimportant.
That is something people often forget. We respect big actions because they look impressive.
Someone studies for 5 hours and we think, wow, that person is serious.
But someone who practices for 15 minutes every day for 6 months may make much more progress.
Because consistency is often more powerful than intensity.
Intensity means doing something with a lot of energy or effort, usually for a shorter period.
For example, going to the gym for 3 hours once and then disappearing for 2 weeks.
Please stop describing my fitness routine.
I'm just giving educational examples, Jake.
Of course, very educational.
But this connects to another problem. Sometimes we make starting too difficult.
Yes, we create too many rules before we even begin.
We say, I need the perfect notebook.
I need better equipment.
I need to find the perfect course.
I need 3 free hours and complete silence.
And when all those conditions are not available, we decide we cannot start.
I once wanted to start running regularly, and I spent more time researching running shoes than actually running.
How much running did you do?
Very little, but I became an expert on shoes.
That is another form of preparation becoming procrastination.
Exactly. Preparation is useful when it helps you act, But if you keep preparing because you are afraid to begin, it becomes a hiding place.
So perhaps we should make action easier.
Yes. Remove unnecessary steps.
If you want to read more, put a book next to your bed.
If you want to practice English in the morning, prepare your headphones and lesson the night before.
If you want to exercise after work, keep your clothes somewhere easy to see.
Your environment can make a good action easier or a bad habit harder.
And there is another useful idea. Give yourself permission to do something badly at first.
Oh, I really like this one.
Many people don't start because they want their first attempt to look like someone else's 100th attempt.
They compare their beginning with another person's experience.
Imagine you want to create videos. You watch someone online who speaks confidently, has beautiful lighting, and knows exactly what to say.
Then you make your first video, watch it, and think, why do I look uncomfortable? Why does my voice sound strange?
And why did I suddenly forget how human hands normally move?
Exactly. Suddenly you become very aware of everything.
But the experienced person you are watching probably had an awkward first video too.
You just didn't see it.
Beginnings are often messy.
Your first conversation in English may be uncomfortable.
Your first day at the gym may feel confusing.
Your first business idea may not work.
Your first page may not be good.
But the first version has an important job.
Its job is not to be perfect.
Its job is to exist.
That is powerful because you cannot improve something that you never begin.
And once something exists, you have something to work with.
Let's talk about the phrase, "I don't have time," because this is another common reason we delay action.
And sometimes it is completely true. People have jobs, families, responsibilities, and busy schedules.
So the answer is not always, just find more time. Sometimes there really isn't much extra time available.
But then the question becomes, what can I do with the time I actually have?
Maybe you don't have an hour, but you have 12 minutes.
Maybe you cannot study every evening, but you can study 3 evenings a week.
We often reject small amounts of time because they don't feel serious enough.
We think, I only have 10 minutes, so there is no point starting.
But 10 minutes repeated regularly becomes hours of practice over time.
And something interesting happens when you start. The action often becomes easier after the first few minutes.
Yes, the hardest part is sometimes simply opening the document, putting on your shoes, or saying the first sentence.
Before you start, your mind can create 100 reasons to wait.
But after you begin, you are no longer thinking about starting.
You are already doing it.
And once you are already doing it, something changes in your mind. The task often feels much smaller than it did when you were only thinking about it.
Yes, because thinking about a difficult task for 3 days can sometimes feel more exhausting than actually doing it for 30 minutes.
That is so true. We can spend a lot of energy worrying, planning, delaying, and feeling guilty.
And all of that uses energy without moving us forward.
So maybe one useful rule is this. When you notice yourself thinking about the same task again and again, ask whether you can take one small action immediately.
For example, if you need to apply for a new job, you don't have to complete everything today.
You could simply open your resume and improve one section.
If you want to start exercising, you don't need to create the perfect weekly routine tonight.
You could take a 15-minute walk.
And if you want to improve your English, you could repeat 5 sentences from this conversation.
Small actions send an important message to your brain.
They say, I'm not only thinking about this anymore, I am doing something.
And that can slowly change the way you see yourself.
This is important because our actions can become part of our identity.
Identity means the way you understand who you are.
If you keep saying, I'm a person who always procrastinates, you may begin to treat that sentence like a permanent fact.
But it isn't necessarily permanent. You can create new evidence through your actions.
Every time you begin when you normally would delay, you create a small piece of evidence.
You can say, look, I said I would practice for 10 minutes, and I did.
That may not look like a huge achievement, but you are building trust with yourself.
I really like the phrase, building trust with yourself.
Me too. Imagine a friend who promises to meet you every week but never arrives.
After a while, you probably stop believing that friend.
Exactly. And sometimes we do something similar to ourselves.
We say, tomorrow morning, I'm definitely exercising.
Morning comes,
we don't exercise.
Then we say, tomorrow, definitely tomorrow.
And after repeating this many times, our own promises start to feel less serious.
So instead of making huge promises, make smaller promises you can actually keep.
Don't promise 2 hours if 20 minutes is realistic.
Don't say you will study 7 days a week if 3 days fits your life better.
A small promise that you keep is more powerful than a beautiful plan that you never follow.
And what happens when you fail to keep the promise one day?
This is important because you will probably miss a day eventually.
We are human. Life changes, unexpected things happen, and sometimes we are simply tired.
The danger is turning one missed day into a reason to stop completely.
Someone misses one workout and thinks, well, I ruined my routine.
Or they miss 2 days of English practice and say, I have no discipline.
That reaction makes a small problem much bigger.
Instead, you can simply return.
No dramatic speech.
No dramatic music.
No standing in the rain and asking, why did I fail?
Definitely not. Just come back to the action.
I think that is one of the most useful skills we can develop, learning how to restart quickly.
Because successful people are not necessarily people who never stop. Often, they're people who become good at starting again.
And that removes a lot of pressure. You don't need a perfect record.
You need the ability to return.
Now, there is one more reason people sometimes avoid action: fear of making the wrong choice.
Yes, you have several options and you keep thinking, what if I choose the wrong one?
So you research, compare, ask people for advice, think some more.
And 3 months later, you are still researching.
With 17 browser tabs open.
Sometimes there is no way to know the perfect choice before you begin.
Action gives you information that thinking cannot always give you.
You try something, notice what happens, and then adjust.
Adjust means to make a small change because of new information or experience.
So taking action does not mean choosing one path forever.
It can simply mean testing the next step.
And if it doesn't work, you learn something.
That is much more useful than waiting forever for complete certainty.
Before we finish, let's review a few useful words and ideas from today.
The first word is procrastinate. To procrastinate means to delay something you know you should do.
For example, I procrastinated all afternoon instead of finishing my project.
Another useful word is consistency. Consistency means continuing to do something regularly over time.
You don't have to do something perfectly to be consistent.
We also use the word intensity. Intensity means a high level of energy or effort.
Remember our idea. Consistency can often be more useful than short periods of extreme intensity.
Another word is identity, which is the way you understand who you are.
Your repeated actions can slowly influence your identity.
And finally, we use the word adjust.
To adjust means to change something slightly so that it works better in a new situation.
You can start, learn from the experience, and adjust your plan.
Now think again about the question we asked at the beginning. What is something you keep saying you will do, but you still haven't started?
Maybe you already have an answer.
If you do, don't ask yourself to finish the whole thing today.
Ask yourself a much simpler question. What is one small action I can take today?
Maybe it takes 10 minutes.
Maybe it takes 5.
Maybe it takes only 1 minute.
The size of the action is not the most important thing. What matters is moving from saying to doing.
Because you do not always need more motivation, more confidence, more information, or a perfect moment.
Sometimes, you simply need to begin before your mind creates another excuse.
And remember, taking action does not mean becoming a completely different person overnight.
It means doing one real thing today instead of making one more promise about the future.
Then tomorrow, you can do another real thing.
If you want to practice your English, write a sentence in the comments. One thing I will stop delaying is...
And then add the small action you are going to take.
For example, I will stop delaying my English practice, and today I will speak English for 10 minutes.
Keep it simple, realistic, and personal.
Thank you for spending this time with us here on Chill English Channel.
We hope this conversation helped you practice natural English and also gave you something useful to think about in your own life.
Remember, you don't have to wait until you feel completely ready.
You don't have to know every step before you take the first one.
Start small, allow yourself to learn, and keep coming back when things don't go perfectly.
Because a small action today can take you further than a perfect plan you keep promising to start tomorrow.